What's up, everybody? I'm Maru.
I'm Panda Ponycat.
I'm Alice.
And this is the Sheekery!
Woo!
Woo! Hype.
I feel like our woo is a little like limp.
I feel like the hype. I'm so excited to get to the hype nowadays that I just skip over the wooing.
You're like, yeah,
I've gotten out of my woo girl.
You're not a woo girl
I
anymore.
was once a woo girl.
Woo!
So, this week, I know that we had promised to talk about, like, murder and serial killers and all that great, in quotations, murdery stuff.
Great stuff.
Yeah. But we wanted to kind of have more of a real talk this week and talk about something that I know is prevalent lately within our group. And I know so much with our Twitter family and the people that listen to us. And we kind of wanted to talk about like mental health and ways to deal with stress and anxiety and like just kind of go over maybe some of our own experiences to kind of relate to people and maybe some tips. I know this is really, it's super going on with us right now with other things, but then as con season comes up, it just gets worse. Stress, anxiety, freaking out in general. So
it's something important to talk about now before we get.
And I think it's always important to talk about, to know that you're not alone. So we thought, well, let's just do the thing.
Yeah, no, I approve.
Yeah, so I don't know who wants to start. I know that, Kat, you had found a website that had some really good tips. Yeah, or if you want to share some of your own stuff that's happening, or whatever. We could just real talk with the doctors. Dr. Sheekery.
The doctor? Like the doctor's going to come in his big blue box? Is that what's happening?
Yes. I feel like he relieves stress just with his face.
Can he come in his box and take me away? That'd be cool.
That would be
once in a while. I think that'd be great.
Once in a while. Just not every day. Just periodically.
I don't need to be gone like all the time or anything, but just once in a while. Like, let the doctor take me away. Which actually is kind of a point on one of the websites I did find, like 31 tips to like boost your mental health, and how to keep focused is planning a trip. So you can actually, if you set up a getaway, you can boost your overall happiness for up to 8 weeks out.
Really, 8 weeks?
So 8 weeks. So just the act of planning a vacation and having something to look forward to can help alleviate some of the stress from like, just work time blues and like doing the same old every day, breaking up the monotony of
that makes sense.
Your everyday get-togethers. And what's funny is for a long time, I don't take big getaways or do anything crazy, but every once in a while I do. But for the most part, I almost take like a weekend off every month, so I don't get weekends off normally. I work Saturdays always, pretty much. But there are days that I'm like, I'm just gonna take Friday and Saturday. I'm gonna take a little weekend and take 3 days to myself, or to go do something, or like plan something for myself. Right. And just I almost do that once a month, and it makes all the difference with my job, because it gets it's not the best job. It pays the bills, and I'm not gonna complain that I have a job that pays my bills. But it gets exhausting and hard and all that stuff. So it's I think it's super important to do that for myself, because that's a huge thing for me, to have something to look forward to. Because if I don't, it all bogs me down so bad that I have to just step away every once in a while, not be there.
When you also like don't get like weekends off because you have to work Saturday, but you don't have 2 consecutive days off, so that kind of can be
exactly. And that's something
2 days in a row.
Yeah, that's something that I mess up too a lot of times, because I always work weekends and I don't always have 2 days off in a row.
Right.
And even when I do, I tend to fill them with things and chores and errands, and don't actually take any time to rest. And then it's still just like when I go back to work, I'm still just overwhelmed, and
I
get any rest done.
That is totally me too. I feel like I end up I just fill up all of my free time with extra stuff, and there are times that I mean, you guys know that I'll just be like, I can't. Today I can't. Today is the day I just cannot do anything. Like, I need to just be in my bed, because I'm like, I can't function anymore because I haven't had a minute to myself. So I think it's super important, and I think it's important for people to realize when that moment has happened. Like, I know I said I was going to do this thing, but I need to just take a quick step back because I can't take more on my plate right now. I've had a really like hard time, and being able to recognize that, I think, is really just as important as spending time with friends and family and doing things with people that you care about. Sometimes you need to remember that it's important to step back and take time for yourself, and it's okay to do that. And your friends obviously will completely understand because that's why you're there, your friends. So I think that's one of those really important things people need to remember. It's okay to do.
And looking up stuff like ways to relieve stress or how to lessen anxiety. Like one of the things it always talks about is take a break.
Yeah.
And that can mean take a break from quote unquote like fun things. You know, if you've been working all week and your friends want to go out and you just can't, I think it's important to be like, you know, I can't. I know it's a fun thing, but I just can't.
But it's still a thing.
It's still a thing you have to do, yeah.
It's still not laying in your bed or vegging out on the couch. It's still having to interact with people.
To put on that whole socialize and put on the whole show of like, yes, I'm totally ready.
Pants.
Pants.
Putting on pants is the hardest part.
Sometimes just putting on pants is too much.
Dude, it's sometimes way too much.
And again, it's like if you have people that don't understand that, then I don't know. I don't feel like those people are your friends if they can't understand.
Yeah, it's obviously one of the things they say for a lot of mental health stuff is surrounding yourself with good people or people that, you know, care about you, obviously, or like, and obviously people who care and love about you understand that you've taken off your pants for the day. You go do you. I'm gonna go do me. You know, and the good people in your life will understand that. And I feel like part of, I mean, it took me a long time to learn how to expel the bad people in your life because you just so badly like want to be friends with certain people. I think like we have this mentality where we still want to be the popular kids. Like
you still want people to like you.
You still want people to like you, but then like you start doing it at the expense of yourself, and you start becoming like them and doing things that you don't normally do. And I feel like at any point it's okay to not be friends with those people because the relationships that I've grown into over the past, you know, several years are far more valuable and far more fulfilling than any like satellite relationship I've had before with certain like friends and stuff, where I'm going out of my way to impress these people and I get nothing in return, and that's so draining. And I feel like people are so afraid to just cut ties with those people because they're afraid something's gonna happen and like it's just not gonna be what their life needs to be, and
you're gonna hurt their feelings.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, I know all three of us are super guilty of that. Like if you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings, the guilt is almost like doing exercise. Like it is almost as exhausting as exercise.
So true. And then I mean the other thing we all like almost have to remind each other of is like in relationships they don't care about your feelings, or they don't really even notice when you decide to walk away. Like at least in some instances that I've had, I'm like, I could not talk to somebody for weeks and they wouldn't even notice. And to me, I feel it every day that I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to them, and like, why don't they like me? And just the whole aspect of finally cutting ties and walking away, as awful as it can be, it just takes a huge weight off my shoulders because then I'm like, okay, well, now I'm not putting in this effort to just be rejected every single time over and over. So just lifting that off my shoulders is huge. So I don't know.
And that can be hard. Like we're not saying that's easy at all. That can be agonizing to do that. But sometimes
it took me a very long time to be able to even do that in my life. To figure out the things I could live without. So no, it is not easy. And it's not just like a turn around and do the thing. So I understand, but it took me a very long time to get to that point.
Well, it's important if you're feeling that way I always think to find the people that do care about you and tell them how you're feeling. Like you don't have to go through things alone.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like you never do. There's always going to there's someone.
Yeah. I feel like also the thing a lot of us are guilty of is that we feel like a burden.
Yes.
When we're having a bad day.
Oh, God.
I don't want to bring you down. But don't ever feel like that because, you know, even if you're having a bad day and your friend isn't your friend, since your friend is in a good place, they're going to bring you up with them. You're not necessarily going to drag them down.
Yeah.
So it's almost this, I don't know. I think it's super important to still share those things, even though you start to feel like a burden. But you just have to remember that your friends will never, ever, ever consider you a burden. And I'm one of those people, like, I'm constantly happy to listen and talk and, like, you know, let's figure this out together. So, I mean, everyone out there in the Twitterverse who's having a rough time right now, please feel free anytime, message me. Yeah. Like, I'm happy to talk to you and listen and whatever you need, but you are absolutely not alone. And I think that's one of the biggest things is don't ever feel alone. So don't get me wrong, I know you need your alone time, but you're not alone.
Right.
In this. So
well, there's also, and I know that's another thing that happened with the three of us. If one of us is having a bad day and then another one of us is also having a bad day, then we're like, well, I don't want to overshadow their bad day, so I'm just gonna hold all this in until I explode.
Right.
Because then it becomes like a who is having a, I don't want it to be like a who's having a worse day thing, or like I'm trying to one up anyone.
Right.
Yeah, it's like I'm not trying to take the attention from them because, like, technically they said they were having a bad day first, so I'll just wait my turn. It's like, no, I will raise my hand even though you can't see it and know that I have actually done this recently. Where I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll just quietly sit in my corner and not talk.
Yeah. And yeah, I totally understand that feeling, like 100%, because I've totally done. I mean, we're all guilty of it. I feel like I used to have a friend in high school who felt like every time I would tell her something, she'd like one up it, good, bad, and different. Like every single time, I'm just like, oh, hey, this thing happened. Yeah, well, mine happened, and there was a hurricane. Like it was always kind of ridiculous, you know. And I'm like,
you're like, really?
I don't even know what to do right now.
Like, but then yours had a Sharknado.
Right. Then mine had a Sharknado because I've never been a one-upper. I've never been like a, you know, my life is the only life and I'm super more important than anything you're saying. So I've never been like that. So I was always kind of like, okay, never mind. And then I just stopped talking. And unfortunately, I think that actually kind of ruined me for the rest of time because now I just don't really ever talk about my problems because I'm afraid that's going to keep happening. So like,
well, then there's the whole, like, sometimes it's is it going to come off as one-upping if you're like, oh, my friend is having this problem and I have a similar problem and I would like them to know that I'm in the same boat as them. But is it going to come off like I'm trying to one-up them or make it about me? I don't know, so just let them suffer.
Right. Yeah, and it's such a hard balance, but like...
Stress is stressful.
Right? And I feel like that's the thing is you get so stressed and you need to talk to somebody but you're afraid of coming off these ways and then they're having a bad day and then what do you do? And then you're more stressed out because now you don't know how to treat the situation that you're in because they're stressed out that you're stressed out. Then now you're stressed that you need to tell them about what's going on in your life but you can't talk to them because it's going to one up them and stresses you out.
Yeah. It's a vicious cycle.
It is this whole vicious, awful cycle. But the good news is that when you find the people that you can talk to, it's totally just a normal, like, you figure out your groove and how you guys talk to each other. And, like, I mean, it all, again, comes back to just having good people in your life who can understand sort of like, oh, okay, like, I'm saying this, but it's not to one-up you or to say, like, it's just a comment about my day and it's fine. So taking things at face value and you realize, oh, okay, no, you didn't mean it in any sort of specific way.
Yeah. And I
take the stress out of that a little bit.
I feel like within our group, we've done really good about that. Like we finally found a good group. But we we still struggle. It's not like we're perfect. We all still feel these weird anxieties about being like, I don't want to overshadow you.
No, Twitter, we're perfect. Everyone out there,
perfect.
We're the perfect group.
Do you want to say it in German for our German listeners?
It's fine. You want to be in the Sheekery group. We're super cool. We're like the coolest.
But at the same time, like, we're all, you know, we're not teenagers. It's taken us a long time to get here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember, all of us, I mean, I think I'm the last one. I turned 30 this year, next month. So, I mean, trust me, we're just now kind of getting to the part where we're like, yeah, this is cool. Like, everything's comfortable, and we feel just finally, you know, in sync. And it takes a while to get there, but that's okay.
But even then, like I said last night, sometimes you think, you know, I'm starting to get a handle on this. I've got this under control. And then you realize that the rock you've been kicking is actually just the top of a mountain.
Right.
Right. It's like the Titanic and the tiny iceberg they thought they were hitting and the giant damage it was doing underneath.
Yes.
Totally
but
fine.
also you have to know when to let it go when it becomes a mountain. If it's a mountain,
Let it go. Let it go.
Let rocks be rocks. Sometimes you have to just let rocks be rocks.
Yeah.
That's true.
Sometimes you just do. And that's okay.
And you still haven't said
Okay to
the
do that.
perfect thing in German, and I feel like it has to be
Oh.
you.
Can you please?
Nein, ich bin perfect.
I was just waiting. I was like, can you just say it, please?
Sorry, you guys had to remind
For
me,
our
but
German
yes.
listeners, you know who you are.
That's for our German listeners that we love so much.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, there's always gonna, and that's the thing is, like, there's always going to be something. Like, if you feel like, oh, I just have problem after problem, it's like, no, everyone does. There's always gonna be something. Whether it's big or small. Like, you're not weird. Sometimes your life just feels like it's a never-ending series of problems.
As it were, a shitstorm.
But I feel like most people's are. Like,
you know, that's just, there's always going to be, and it is about how you take it. And that's the thing is when you're stressed and like you feel like literally everything is just piling and the world is against you and you just you don't handle it well, you know? I mean, I'm guilty. I am 100% guilty of this. I do this all the time where I just I let little things get to me because there's so many of them that I just let it really affect me and my day. And there's other days that I'm like, oh, it's just this little tiny thing. I don't care anymore. Like, I'm fine. So it's absolutely about kind of how you start your day and how you continue your day. And I mean, one thing I found is that, when I wake up in the morning, I have like a glass of water and then like I listen to like a fun upbeat song on my way into work or something like that. Something just gets, get your day off to the right start. Cup of coffee apparently is actually really good for you, or a nice cup of green tea if you're not a coffee drinker. These are all things that are going to help contribute to a good mood. So, I mean, it's about finding the things that you can find joy in, or writing down the successes you actually did have, focusing on those. Like, I did this really well today, or, my hair looks fantastic, or, just remembering that you can't, you're your own worst critic, but you're also your own best critic. Like,
your own,
you
you're
can
your
really
own
build yourself up, or you can really tear yourself down. So it's just how you approach it.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
I was going to say, take a Post-it to go along with what Kat was saying. Take a Post-it, put an accomplishment that you made today on the mirror in the bathroom before you go to bed so that you wake up to it.
Right, that's good. Like,
hey, I did that thing yesterday. I'm going to do a thing today.
And even if it's small, it doesn't have to be like, I did this huge thing. It could be like, you know what? I ate
put
healthy.
On pants.
I ate a decent dinner. I did my laundry. Like, the littlest things.
I adulted so hard.
Yeah.
I think I could put that on Post-its.
I went to the grocery store and I didn't cry. Sometimes I feel like that needs to be mine. Because, like, going to the grocery store is, like, so stressful for me.
Oh, my God.
I don't like people.
The grocery store is an anxiety-riddled mess. I hate the grocery store.
Yeah. I feel like it doesn't have to be some huge accomplishment. Like, I got a raise, or I, invented the cure to cancer. Like, no.
I dusted.
Yeah, I dusted.
That.
I made myself breakfast. I drank the appropriate amount of water today that I should. Like, little, because, like, that's one of mine, honest to goodness. I'm like, yay, I drank water today. I did the thing.
I drank water.
Because I don't like water.
You know what I used to do? I used to put, like, hash marks.
I remember that.
For how many cups of water I've had so that I could see, like, look how much I've had.
I was like, that's my thing. Because, like, I don't drink water, and I should. But
I feel like whenever I'm at work, I manage to always get my water intake for the day because I sit at a desk all day.
Well,
and
so
it's
you have
very,
your
very
water
boring.
bottle there, so you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I carry two 32-ounce water bottles, so I know I'm getting a full 64 ounces when I'm sitting at work. So I'm like, well, there's my 8 ounces, or my 8 glasses for the day.
Yeah.
So at least it feels good to be like, okay, 5 days out of a week, I am absolutely getting my full intake of water that I'm supposed to get. And then sometimes more, because some days I'm thirstier than others. It just happens that way. But
well, that's a good thing. I mean, 5 out of 7 days. Pretty big
not
deal.
bad.
It's not bad. It's better than I do.
It's tough. It's a tough thing.
But, I can say, just to share things that are happening in our lives. I don't mind sharing a bit, but I've been struggling recently because I have disconnected from a family member.
Right.
Without going into specifics, but it's been really difficult for me because it feels like, in a weird way, that I have been failing in this relationship that I have. Right. And so, as you guys know, it's like it's and my birthday came, and that was weird because I'm weird.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just sometimes, and the point to this is that sometimes problems don't solve themselves. If you feel like, man, it's been like a year, it's been like 5 years, it's been like 10 years, and I'm still feeling this way, like what's wrong with me? It's like sometimes there's no time limit on how long it can take to reconcile with a problem or an issue that you're having in your life.
Right.
Like, I always want to emphasize, because I have people that, you know, I talk to people. If people don't know this by now, I am the talker in the community. I'm talking to everybody constantly all the time, but...
You don't talk to anybody. What are you talking about?
Never hear from you.
Yeah. Who are you?
I'm that weirdo that in the middle of the day, I'm like, text message, I'm like, I love you. Hi.
Hi.
It's still alive.
And you know, I appreciate it.
But, you know, it's like, there's always people that are like, you know, it's been like 5 years. I'm like, has it? You know, there's no time limit on how long it takes you to heal from something. As long as you're making forward progress, I feel like it's good. Yeah. But even if you're not, it doesn't mean you're failing. It's just, and this particular problem for me has been going on for 30 years. I don't know. As long as I've been alive. This is a family member. So it's just one of those things. It's like, there's no time limit. If you feel like you're failing, and that's something I've been trying to convince myself, like, I'm not failing. I'm just making small steps. Like, they're just smaller than I would like, but...
Right.
So it's just one of the things, like, don't feel like you're ever failing. I feel like I'm saying this to people, and I'm really just telling it to myself, but whatever.
You know, that's half the battle, too, is that reminding yourself that it's okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's the thing is, until you, I mean, you know, friends, family members, people who care about you can tell you until they're blue in the face that,
right.
No, it's just, you know, there's no time limit or this or that. But until you are able to convince yourself that it's okay to just accept it and just heal in your own time. But yeah, no, part of the battle is absolutely convincing yourself. So
well, yeah, and to go into my point, like the last couple years, I've made huge strides with this particular problem because of the friends that I have made. Because I've started to let myself listen to other people, and it's still ongoing. It's been a couple years now since I've made strides, but it's like. It's, you know, it's still an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
And so whatever problem people might be having, if you feel like, oh, you know, if, say you got a divorce or you lost a really good friendship or you're not really close to your family and you're like, I should just be over it. It's not necessarily going to be a quick fix. If it's a quick fix, I feel like it's not a good fix.
Right.
If something really traumatic happens to you and then the next day you're like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. It's like, no, it's not.
There's a difference between duct taping your bumper back on and taking it to the body shop and having it actually professionally put back on and finished and detailed and like repainted.
Yeah, and that always takes more time. There's a huge
difference between those things.
That's the thing is the latter always takes more time and it's more expensive. So it means it's going to cost you more.
Or you could just let the whole undercarriage fuse together with rust.
You know what? That's an option too.
Now we know that's an option at least, so that's fine.
It hasn't fallen apart yet.
It hasn't.
You know, that's important. No one broke college.
But at the same time, that fused rusty undercarriage is still one piece by one piece getting fixed. So it's a slow going, but it's still still making the strides.
And you still have to feel stressed about the imminent danger of
right.
But like that's my thing is like something that I've learned in my life is like it's not necessarily going to feel better right away, and that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
and
to.
I mean, that's what they say, right? Like, you know, anything good in life is worth waiting for, worth fighting for, worth, you know, all the effort put in. So it is one of those things that like I mean, you know, you can't expect everyone to do the work for you.
No.
As easy and wonderful as that would be, is for someone else to just come in and be like, this is fixed and everything's great now.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, but not realistic. So, I mean, you need to also remember to put in the work Because when, I guess the other side of this is when you are in a good place and when you're feeling great, to remember to still be there for other people. Because I think sometimes we get so wrapped up like in the good place that we forget that, you know, somebody else might be having a hard day and could just appreciate just a quick little like, hey, just want you to know, like, I love you and thinking of you or whatever.
Yeah.
And to reach out when you know someone's having a rough time. And I think those things make all the difference. And that's also important, I think, in this whole process, is to remember to still be there for people when you're good, so that, you know, when you're bad, they know to be there for you, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it's all a big circle. And so I feel like, you know, you have to remember to do both.
Well, yeah, it's like you were saying, like, when you're feeling good, maybe give some of that good out to help lift somebody else up.
Yeah.
Because that could be the tiny little thing that they needed that day. A smile, a text, you know, a tweet. Like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, no, and I do think
tweet.
those things, you know, and that's the thing is, like, even just hearing from, like, you know, you guys, or, you know, our group on a like pretty much daily basis or semi-regular basis, those things are really important to me, because I'm like, oh, this is my backup, like, system. This is my, you know, my, who has my back when I'm about to go, you know, burn people in fires or whatever.
Right. When there are days when the four of us go into, like, total GIF wars, like, no words.
Yeah.
No words are exchanged between us, but it's enough
and the joy that we bring ourselves and other people is just, you know, completely irreplaceable, I think.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I hope we bring other people joy. You know,
I hope we don't annoy people.
Hate us, I guess, but
at the Sheekery, if you hate us, we can take constructive criticism. It's fine.
Constructively criticize. It's totally fine.
We can talk about that another week.
Constructive criticism.
Gift wars or constructively criticizing?
Both.
Oh, people hating us.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can. Oh my god, can we please have a segment of mean tweets? Can you guys mean tweet us so we can have a segment of, like, we read our mean tweets?
Yes. Please mean tweet.
I desperately want to do that now.
I can't say I've ever gotten a mean tweet.
I don't know that I've ever gotten a mean tweet either. I think it when celebrities read them. It's like the funniest thing I've ever seen. Which also brings me to another thing about mental health, and wrapping this actually back in, is, you know, when you're having a bad day, just take a second to sit down and watch something you think is hilarious.
Chicken Attack.
Chicken Attack, for instance, we just watched recently with the majestic yodeling.
We will post this on the Sheekery Twitter, by the way.
You're gonna get a bunch of links. You're gonna expand with links after this video, or after we post this. But
they will come
yeah, no, I mean, take time to go watch the baby laughing hysterically at people ripping paper, or I love watching the pandas. I love that.
How about the panda mom sneezing, freaking out the baby?
Oh my god, that is
makes
the
me laugh
funniest thing I have ever seen. And I just will watch it on repeat because it's so cute. And yeah, I mean, take a second to just find a funny video, or like watch that funny video on Facebook that's popping up or whatever, to just, you know, see if it can help, you know, improve your day just a little bit, because every little bit is going to help. And they do say that a trick to, you know, improving your day is smiling, even when it's hard, which I know how tough that can be. It does work, though, because it tricks your body into thinking you're happy, and it's great. The other trick is to put a pencil in your teeth to force you to use the muscles that are also used in smiling, so it confuses your body in another way to, like, think you are smiling, and so without having to do some of the work.
And what's
I would hope my body would be smart enough to know the difference between I'm smiling and there's a pencil in my mouth, but I guess not.
I don't think
bodies are only as good as their muscle memory. Like, and because you're using those same muscles that are involved in smiling, they're like, oh, okay, we're smiling, we're good, we're happy, we're having a good time, and that's all that matters.
I feel like that's the thing, because, like, sometimes I'll have because we always record these on Monday, for people that don't know. Monday is always the worst day.
The secret's out, folks.
We record these on Mondays that come out on Saturdays, but I feel like even if we're having a really crappy day, when we're sitting here talking, I'm always smiling, like, the entire time when we're talking. Right. To be honest, I am right now, and it's just, at the end of it, I always feel so good. I'm just like, that was great. I'm gonna go to bed now, and I feel good. Like, I
agree. Like, I do, like, this is kind of a highlight of my week, because I get to sit down with, you know, my best friends and talk and, like, chat and, like, just talk about things that we all love and care about. And and it means a lot to us. So that just, brings the highlight of the week. And it's great because it's on a Monday, because I had the Mondayest of Mondays today. So knowing I could come, or I could go home and like play some video games to like unwind, and then I get to finish my night talking with friends and just, talking about something important to us. And then I get to like go to bed. So it helps start the week off on a positive note. So I think that's super important.
And then there's Tuesday, which is the best day of the week.
Right, because that's one of my 2 non-consecutive days off. And we get to have all the fun with the making of things. Oh, speaking of, never mind. That's completely unrelated to this podcast, so we will talk about that.
We can talk about that
later.
after.
Yeah, never mind.
But, and even if you give yourself, I feel like, one thing every week to look forward to, like Saturday, I'm gonna do this, or whatever your day off is, or whenever you have time. It doesn't have to be the same day every week, but like, I'm gonna talk to friends on Skype or Discord or Twitter, or I'm gonna play a game, or I feel like you were saying before, with just having something to look forward to, because that helps me. As somebody, I always think, that somebody who does not have a 9-to-5 job, I am mostly home pretty much all the time. And that gets monotonous too, because people are like, "Oh, you don't have to work. Like, that's so awesome." No, being home all the time, when you feel like you don't really have set things to do, you can fall into this thing of like, "What day is it? What am I doing today?" So I have to give myself like things that I do every day of the week,
right,
to keep myself going, because otherwise you just get in this funk. So like Mondays are the day we do this, and then Wednesdays I do other things, and then like Thursdays I do this. And if you're somebody who is currently out of work, or even if you can't work, or you're younger and you don't work, it's important to have kind of a schedule, like not something super rigid, but something every day. Like you get up at a certain time, you go to bed at a certain time, you do certain things. That can really help. And that's something that I struggle with, because I get into this funk. I'm like, it's Wednesday, who cares? Just another day.
Right.
In a series of days until the end of my life.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for something to do on Thursdays, feel free to participate in Glistentide.
That's true.
Yes.
We can go
everyone forever participate in the Glistentide.
I did last Thursday. This is the first time, I think.
Well, now every Thursday.
Every Thursday is Glistentide, so you wear something sparkly, and you know that you're amazing.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the motto of Glistentide. That's what I take from it.
I mean, Glistentide is the day we shine.
Glistentide is the day we shine.
It's the day that you set aside every week to just, no matter how you're feeling, put on just a little bit of sparkle.
Yeah.
Something that sparkles, just to remind yourself that you shine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is guy or girl.
Yeah, anybody can do this.
Too.
It doesn't have to be glitter. It could just be a little shimmer, a little shine, like a shiny chrome sneaker.
Yeah,
you can wear a bumper.
You got a shiny watch you want to wear? Do that. A ring?
I feel like it could also be appropriate to do just like something that wear something that makes you feel good. Makes you feel like you shine.
Like a nice
or that you are good.
A color that you feel like you look good in. That's fine.
Like when you look at Thursday's the day that when you look in the mirror, you need to be like, this thing looks amazing. Whether it like ours happens to be glitter and shiny things because of what we've decided we are, but something that makes you feel new and shiny. Yeah, go out of your way, because I put on makeup on Thursdays, and for anyone who knows me, I don't wear makeup.
Right.
So that's like kind of a big deal.
I feel like this Thursday, after people listen to this, which is Saturday, on Thursday, I want people who are listening, if you're so inclined, to wear something and tweet us with the hashtag Glistentide.
Yes. Hashtag Glistentide.
Do the thing.
STIDE. Glisten TIDE.
Yeah. Glisten.
Yeah, like the ocean tide.
Yeah.
We're not spelling it funky and hip with a Y.
We'll put this out. You know what? And we ourselves can tweet out on Thursday with something we're wearing with the hashtag on the Sheekery.
We can rock out with our sparkle out.
Yes. I encourage people.
Mostly always do.
Like, just do this little challenge with us. Just do it. Make yourself feel good. It doesn't have to be sparkly. Yeah. Just something that you enjoy wearing, or a place that you are, or like a food that you really love. Just something that makes you feel good. Hashtag Glistentide. I feel like that's a good thing. We're gonna start a trend.
Yeah, do the thing.
Start a trend with us. We want to be popular. Just kidding.
I want to be. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Stop trying to make glisten time happen. I'm gonna make it happen.
Oh no, glisten time's happening, but just stop trying to make fetch happen.
But I want it to happen.
I know.
Hashtag glisten time. Hashtag fetch.
Hashtag glisten time. Hashtag fetch. This is fine.
But yeah, I just feel like, you know, the moral is like you're never alone. You're not. And even if people seem super perfect and put together, they're not. They're just better at hiding it. That's my opinion with the world. Like the people that seem like super put together, they're just really good at hiding it.
They've just kind of figured out how to hide well. Like, I mean, that's the thing is usually people with the brightest smiles are going through the biggest battles, you know?
Right.
There's a lot going on under the surface that you don't necessarily see. So, you know, that's also a good thing to remember when, you know, you interact with people like, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. Like, you've got this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like you go to a store and somebody screams at you. It's like, maybe they're just having a really bad day. That doesn't make it right for them to scream at you. But at the same time, it's like, maybe just take that moment and be like, either walk away and be like, okay, cool. Or be like, you know, you good? You alright there?
Are you
need a hug?
Okay. Well, and, that was going to lead me into a story that I just totally forgot what it was. So this is fine.
Excuse me.
This is how I function as an adult.
And it's wonderful.
Being friends with me is an experience, everybody, just so you all know. It's great.
Kat's always got good stories, but she makes you work for them. What?
Yeah, you have to really like be patient and just really want it bad enough.
Really want it.
Clap your hands and believe real hard, and we'll get there.
I believe.
And maybe ring a bell for.
I don't have
fairies.
a bell. I can clap my hands.
Oh, well, dang it.
Clap my hands. I'm clapping.
Do you want a bell? I can go find a bell.
No, it's a.
It's like, do you want it?
I'm still trying to like remember where that's. We were talking about being yelled at stores and
give people hugs.
Yeah, just remember you don't know what's going on in other people's lives, and that's important because there could just be this underlying thing happening that is just affecting their day. And that's what it was. People think I'm crazy. So I obviously worked as a server for quite a long time, or a few years, and I worked in the fast food industry, and I worked just in these types of situations. And so every time I go through a drive-through with someone new, every person has to comment on my drive-through voice.
Yes.
So I'm talking to the person in the drive-through. It's like higher pitched and like happy, and because I'm like, I don't want you to think I'm the customer who's here to make your life a living hell, and I don't want you to spit in my food. And
I thought you sounded happy because we were finally getting to eat,
which is also a huge part of it. Again, food makes me happy, so I want the person on the other end of the drive-through speaker to know that I am happy about the interaction we're about to have.
This is
so
true,
that
though.
the food I get is going to be also extra delicious.
Her voice completely changes. It's like a phenomenon. You're just like, what just happened?
Okay, I'll try and do an example. So I pull up a drive-through, whatever drive-through, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Wendy's, wherever. Doesn't matter the drive-through.
Burger Bell.
And all of a sudden they'll be like, hi, welcome to X, Y, and Z. What can I offer you? I'm like, can I please get one number 2 with a Diet Coke and fries? And can I also please get this thing with no mayo, no cheese, extra lettuce, with a Coke? Like, and then they're like,
give me a hot spicy.
Right, there's that happening. I'm like, oh, can I please get one hot and spicy? And then I always like apologize when it's getting complicated. All of a sudden there's like 10 people. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
There's so many pleases, so many thank yous. I can't help it.
It's a phenomenon, though. She goes from like just normal talking to that, and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah, it is its own thing, and I'm pretty sure everyone who goes through drive-thru has commented on it at some point.
I don't know if I ever have, but I just find it fascinating. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Yep.
But it's amazing.
No, it doesn't take anything away from you to be nice to somebody.
It doesn't.
Like, I get stuff thrown at me at work all the time. I have people that are very not nice all day. And it would not kill you to be nice for the 1.5-minute interaction we're going to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think so too. I don't think it takes anything just to be kind to a stranger.
Well, that's the thing, like, people that work retail or, like, fast food, or, like, they have a hard job. Like, you know they do.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And I don't know if my voice, but I'm always the one with the please and thank yous. Please, thank you.
Oh, yeah. No, I think please and thank you is so important.
And Shadow's like that too, because they'll always be like, they do their standard thing, like, "Hi, welcome to Wendy's. How are you doing today?" And he's always one of the ones that's like, "I'm good. How are you?" And they'll be like, "I'm thank you for asking. I'm doing good." Like they're almost shocked. They're almost shocked sometimes, because he will always respond if somebody asks him how his day is. He's always like, "I'm doing well. How are you doing today?"
Yeah, because that's just, I feel like that's how we were, we were brought up to.
You asked me, I'm gonna ask you.
I think a lot of people comment on like, "Oh, well, even if you ask me, you don't actually care how my day is. You're just asking me because you have to." And you always say good. Yeah. But still, it feels nice for someone to ask you how your day is. It's like, and even for that minute, if you have to pretend your day is good, it kind of helps you remember, like, oh, well, this day hasn't been that bad. Hopefully. I mean, I hope so.
Because chances are the person in the drive-thru is not going to be like, "My day's been horrible."
I'd be surprised when I answer the phone at work.
Answering truthfully.
I have had people answer and be like, "It's been a day at work," and you're like, "Oh."
I have that because I talk to customers all day, every day, and so there would be some times that they're just like, "Well, I've had better days," and I'm like, "Okay, so
I'm sorry.
I should say I'm sorry, and I don't know what to say."
I'm sorry. How can I?
Well,
help
my
you?
dog just died, and my car's got her flat, and like all this stuff. Like, oh, I don't know what to say.
I'm sorry.
But I'm really sorry to hear that your day is bad, and I hope you have a better day.
But how can I help you?
What can I do for you to make it a little bit brighter?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the the point is just you never know. You never know. It doesn't take that much energy to just extend that little bit of like, "How are you doing? Good." Even if it's somebody you don't know, like, "Hey, how you doing today? Good. It's good. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that."
It doesn't hurt to just smile at somebody else for 2.5 seconds. And really, it's going to help you overall because, again, trick your body into thinking you're happy. It's fine.
I'm a compulsive smiler. If somebody makes like eye contact with me, like in a grocery store or wherever, I'm just like, "Hi."
Oh yeah. Smile. I do like the head nod smile thing.
And sometimes they look at you like, "Why are you smiling at me, you freak?" Like, and you're like, "Oh, whatever. I'm still gonna smile at you. This is who I am."
Yeah.
I'm not a frowny faced person.
Alice, wasn't it you who was telling me like when you moved here from like the East Coast, you're like, "Why is everyone nice to me?"
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Was that you?
Yeah, you don't make eye contact with people back home. If you're in the grocery store, you look down. Like, you don't look at you. If you look at someone, it's like, "Why are they staring at me?" And they will get in your face about it. But here they're like, "Hi, how are you?" And I'm like, why are you talking to me?
Why do you want to know how I am?
And it's even worse because my family's.
You're like, why? What have I done? Have I done something wrong?
Are we gonna fight? What are we doing? So my family's from the South. And it's just infinitely more like kindness and like talking to literally everyone, which is a thing I grew up with because my mom is Southern, obviously. So she just talks to literally everyone around her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's still like weird, like I'm still adjusting to it sometimes. It's like,
yeah,
why are you just talking to everyone?
I have to adjust.
I love her for it, and that's what makes her so wonderful. Is that she's so kind and wonderful, and just wants to be nice to everyone, and that's why she's the greatest.
She is so Southern
and so wonderful.
And so wonderful.
So wonderfully Southern, I think is the only way to describe her.
Well, it's like, I think the first time I met her, I was like, I called her Mrs., and then your last name, and she was like, "You can call me Mom," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I don't know that I can.
Everybody does.
I don't know that I can.
You will. In time.
I still have to struggle with calling my mother-in-law Mom, and I've been married for like 12 years.
It's okay.
It's like so weird.
She'll grow on.
But Kat's mom, is Mom?
Yeah. I don't know how to... My mom is Mom. My mom is Mom. Like that is, I mean, she adopts everyone I know, especially like if she likes you, which she loves you, and she already loves Shadow, even though she hasn't met Shadow yet, and she's like already gonna adopt you. So it'll be like she just is your mom, so it's fine.
We had a random. This is off topic a little bit, but we had the random lunch where I think that was like my second time interacting with your mom.
Right.
And we were telling stories about stuff, and she's like, I like your husband. I don't even know him. I like him. And I was like, that's good. That's good. Yep. She's just immediately, from like 2 stories, she's like, I like him. Yeah. We're done
She
now.
has so much kindness and love to give. Like, she's the kind of person you want in your arena, for sure. Like, when you're having a bad day, because she's going to have all of the love and support and kindness that you can possibly ever wish for.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like the thing, like, you don't necessarily have to be one of those people that's like, I love everyone. But.
No. You don't have to be.
But having a little bit of kindness for people. Just a little bit of, like, understanding. Like, I see that you're upset. And even if it's the fact that, like, I see that you're upset and maybe you're yelling at me and I'm just going to let it go. That's an act of kindness, too. I'm just going to let you freaking out on me go.
Right, yeah.
I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to escalate it. I'm just going to let it go.
It's true. Like,
which I think is a hard thing to do.
I feel like I succeeded if I'm not contributing to someone's bad day.
Right.
Like, if I'm not the customer that you're suddenly like, I want to kill my table, or I want to, like, oh my gosh, that guy's being so difficult. As long as I'm not adding to that, I feel that I've been successful.
Yeah. I think that can be good, too. But, you know, overall, for people that feel like there's just so much going on, there are always, I think we can go into, there are resources.
Yes.
Which we will link resources in the description of these videos, whether you listen to it on Podbean or YouTube. But there are 2 really good resources that are online that people are constantly throwing out there. And I think we said earlier that Graph is for a lot of our listeners probably know who Graph is. If you don't,
yes,
you should.
Graphoniac.
Amelia. But there's takethis.org, which is a really good resource, and I know that they have a lot of they'll even have like quiet rooms or hangout rooms at like a lot of conventions, like PAX's. I don't know if they do other ones. I know that they were at PAX South.
Yeah, I know they're for sure like the PAX's.
Yeah,
I'm sure they have more info on their website, but I think it's really great because especially with those huge conventions like that, the anxiety level.
Sometimes you need a quiet space.
Can be a little out of control.
So that's a good one. So takethis.org, and then there is Anxiety Gaming, and they have a website, anxietygaming.com, or you can find them on Twitter. I'm not sure if you can find Take This on Twitter. I'm sure you can.
I think Graph has linked it. We will find it. We will link it.
Yes.
We will make sure that if we can find it, it'll be a thing.
They are on Twitter at takethis.org on Twitter, Anxiety Gaming at Anxiety Gaming AG. But we'll link all that. But those are some really good resources if you're looking to try and find, I think, resources in your area. You can always, I know that they're really good that you can like tweet at them. You can go on their website. Both of them, they're so good about helping out. But yeah, we'll link all that. But they're just some really good. I remember one time I was having a really hard time, and she actually like tweeted at me at them, and they actually messaged me, which was amazing. And they're just like, hey, if you need some help, you know, feel free to just, you know, DM us or kind of poke at us and we'll help you out, which was amazing because it was so random. It was just this random little thing, and they were like, hey, here for you, poke.
Yeah, that's amazing though. That's really amazing.
Something, even if I just mention offhand that I'm having a terrible day, I will get a message from somebody, even people that I've never met, just like, hey,
just making sure you're
thinking about you. You want to talk about anything? Yeah. I know I'm a stranger, but if you need anything, let me know.
Never be afraid to reach out to people because someone will answer that call. And if you are feeling particularly bad, you can message us. You can message any of our individual Twitters, which are always linked on our stuff, or at Sheekery, and we will help you the best we can, either with our own resources or we will point you in a direction. But if you're feeling like you need someone, like, there are people.
Yeah,
our group is some people.
A hand, like, please, like, don't ever be shy, guys. Reach out at Panda Cat anytime. Seriously, happy to be there for you. So
even if we can't ourselves, we have the resources, we have the connections to find. We will find someone.
Yes, we'll figure out the right place for you to be to make you happy.
And I know that's hard. I know that winter is getting at an end. Winter is super hard. I know with people that have seasonal affective disorder, that can be really rough. And then for people like us that are getting into con season, because this is kind of our up ramp to getting into convention season, and that can be super hard.
Right.
It's stressful, even if you're not cosplaying, if you're just somebody who maybe you want to go to a convention, you're working at a convention, you're cosplaying at a convention, that can be stressful, especially for people who are super introverted.
Which a lot of people are. A lot of people that are interested in that.
Yeah.
But geeks, nerds, we're introverts. We just are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of us are high-functioning introverts.
Yes. I feel like
high-functioning extroverts.
I know. I feel like our group in particular is super introverted, and it's like people see us at conventions like, oh, you guys are so good, but we will crash. At the end of that weekend, it's like a week
There's
of
like a
death.
whole week where I leave everything, like I am offline for like a week after a convention.
Yeah. Right.
Because I'm like, oh, that was so much, like, I like being outgoing and like extroverted most of the time, but after like a full weekend of it, I'm like, yeah, I'm all done. I'll be away for a week and I'll see you guys in about a week.
Yeah, it's like, it's hard. Like, I'm super introvert, but it's like, you know, you put on that show, you're like, oh, okay, you do the convention. It's like, I don't want to talk to anybody ever again. Don't talk to me.
The struggle is so real.
Sometimes it doesn't even wait until the convention is over before I'm all done.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like mid-convention, you're like, I just don't want to talk to you. Could you just not look
If I
at me?
make it to Sunday, we're doing good.
I feel like I get halfway through our mega like cosplay day, and I'm like, can you just not look at me? Could you just not look at me? For like a minute.
No one look at me!
Can I stand behind you? So no one looks at... I feel like there are so many pictures from Saturday of last year where I was actually purposely standing behind the group because I was like, can people just not look at me?
Right.
Yep. I still want to be here, but I can't.
Yep.
So.
The struggle's real.
Yeah. But again, so many resources. Feel free to hit us up. I think we can end it there unless anybody else has anything to say.
Well, I feel like that's good. And we will be back with Murder next week.
We will be back with Murder next week, yes.
We just wanted to, get some real talk in. If you guys, again, add us anytime, or if you need anything, always feel free to hit us up. Really to talk about anything. That's what we're here for. So
comment on the video if you have questions. Wherever. We're everywhere.
Questions, comments, suggestions. At the Sheekery.
Mean tweets.
Funny videos.
Funny videos, please. Feel free to add funny videos.
But yeah. So I think that was good. So thank you guys so much for listening, and this has been the Sheekery. I'm Meru. I'm Meru.
I'm Van Horken.
I'm Alice, and wooing.